Everyone, welcome to liftOS. I wanted to film this walkthrough video to help you create an amazing workspace for you. I'm going to start by explaining you the sidebar, what sections are, what spaces are. Then I'm going to talk a bit about space, folder, and app structure. And then really then ideate together how you can use these tools and show you some tips and tricks of how you can take the best value out of liftOS. So let's get started. On the first thing you see to the left side, there is a sidebar. And in the sidebar, there's a general section. This is like your entire team's shared section. So everything that's in here is shared. What I do recommend for a lot of people, if you're working with clients or if you're working with teams, is to create sections for them. A section can be anything. It can be a marketing team. And I always like customizing them, adding some logos, adding some color so it pops. And for example, you can also create another separate section for your clients. So this will be our client section. Sections have their own permission structure, so that if you add someone to marketing section, they'll be separate from the client section, but you can always give access to both by the user settings, which I will show you. So these sections are there to help structure your teams and your permissions. And then under the sections, we have the option to create a space. We can create a space from scratch or choose a template. For time being, we'll just choose from scratch, so I can show you what a space is like. As soon as you click, the space is created. And let's do the same for our clients. And at any time, if you want to change the orders, the colors, the text, the information, it's super easy. liftOS is built flexible so that you can customize your workspace however you want. Now that we've created our spaces, let's first start, for example, by organizing our client information. I'm going to click in the space. Now I'm in the space view. I have my folders to the left side. I have the ability to add new apps, and our new whiteboard app is also here. From the top bar here, I can directly name my space. Let's name this client project 1. And let's just add a emoji for 1. There we go. So it's a bit more customized. I want to add also a color to the space, maybe to represent the color that I'm working with my client. And the next thing we can do is, if we're working with this client on a weekly basis, on a task basis, we can decide on how we're going to name our folders. It's going to be how we organize our applications inside our spaces. So let's name our first folder quarter 1 project. Maybe we have a quarterly project. We can open unlimited folders here, and we can rename each Q2. Likewise Q3 and so on. Let's keep it at 3 for time being. What we can also do is always color these, so everybody is guided and easy to be able to select and work with information directly. Instead, the first one we can't color. So the next thing is now to decide, okay, for quarter 1 project, which app do I need? Do I need a files app to manage all my files and documents? Do I need a notes app to be able to create information and wikis? Do I need to-dos to create projects, or whiteboards to organize and brainstorm visually with my team? Let's start simple by clicking on to-dos. It adds the app directly here. We can rename this quarter 1 client projects. And I'll get into to-dos a bit later, but I want to show you our other apps as well, just briefly. Let's quickly minimize this from here in the sidebar. We can also add apps directly inside of our folders by clicking the plus button here, or always use this in the middle, the library, to be able to add any app directly to the default folder. Now let's add to quarter 2 files. It's important for us to organize quarter 2 documents, and maybe quarter 3 information requires a whiteboard app because we are just doing a big brainstorming. As I click on 2 apps at the same time, you'll see that they'll open in split view. This is an important function so that you can both keep your files on one side, you can keep your tasks on the other side, so it really helps you kind of manage your liftOS space better. But for time being, let's try to focus on one. You can easily minimize with a single click. And as you can see, our to-do application has both a list and a Kanban view. It's very traditional. It's very similar to a typical to-do app with assignees, due date, and then if you click inside it, you'll be able to enter a relation view. We built this so that you can see the relation of items. If you have a to-do, inside that you have a node, but inside that to-do you can have subtasks, which also kind of can have their own fields, which also go into a relational view itself. So this kind of cartwheel helps you always understand which depth you're in when you're really working with your tasks. We can also add files, comments, and view the activity logs with ease. Let's quickly add hey here. So this is our to-do application. On top of this, it moves, and some labels have autocomplete settings. So if I move this to done, it will autocomplete. So we've done some small things like that, including we have our all to-dos, incomplete and complete. We can select, let's see, just the complete one, which is here, but incomplete then filters everything. I can also filter for myself. New labels and so on. So there's a lot to discover with the to-do app, but let's move on to our second application from the sidebar here, which we didn't add. So let's add a note application. This note application has rich text, AI, files, images, numbered lists, tables, and more, and embeds we just shipped yesterday. So you can create very rich information, wikis, docs, and more. You can separate them in pages, as many as you want, reorder these pages, basically put emojis and make it yours. You can title these pages, so page 3, page 4, for example, and you can always reorder them. So the Note app is a great place if you want to document information and create information centralized in one place. Always recommend naming your apps. I will show you why naming is important. And while I work on the Note, I will quickly let AI create a summary of liftOS features in one side. I will quickly minimize the pages here, and what I will do now is actually work on our Files app. So split view helps keep information side by side, work together. Files app helps you display and work with your information. I'll just upload multiple files. I can click to preview them, for example, like this, me inside me. And then we also have the option to always minimize and, for example, work with our whiteboard app. So the beauty of liftOS really is that it's flexible. Whatever you click is in front of you. Whatever you organize is available to your colleagues. You can always move around these folders. So it shapes and it grows with your project and with your project needs. Instead of doing something fixed, we wanted to do something that's flexible as possible so that you can take the most value out of it and it fits your structure the most. The other thing I could share with you is on the right-hand bar, we have sharing options, which I'll get into permissions soon. We have whoever's available in that space. We have the ability to change your space cover, and we'll have a chat. Chat is a very basic chat function where it allows you to DM people or talk on top of spaces, because we also wanted to centralize communication. And that is pretty much it about spaces. Before we jump into a new one, let's keep in mind that I have a to-do application called Quarter1, and naming is important. Why is naming important? Because if you write something here in the central search bar, you will not only be able to see your application, but you'll also get a preview of it. And you'll be able to then search all of your apps from the same place with ease. The other thing that's also pretty important is ability to be able to have the same app in multiple spaces. So let's say you have a personal space and a client space. Now we have Quarter1 client projects here, but what if we also want that in the marketing space? Now we can just write Quarter1 client projects, and it also comes here. With a single click, as you can see, I have synced this application from client projects to my untitled space in marketing so that I can work directly here. And if I go back from here to there, also the same to-do and the same application exists, and you can have this for all apps. So liftOS is flexible, it's customizable, and it's a very organized way to work with your information, including connecting your Google Workspace. Let's quickly show you that. If you go to your settings, workspace settings and integrations, you'll see that turning the to-dos at the Google Workspace on and off triggers this connection. You can choose which account you're connected with, and once it's connected, simply clicking Google Workspace here, browsing your drive, and you'll be able to see all of your Google information. And it behaves just like another app inside liftOS. It comes here, you can work with it here, you can open two things side by side, you can check your spreadsheets while also working on your notes. So liftOS really gives you unlimited abilities to be able to work flexibly with your information. The final thing I want to show you is the setup for settings and permissions. As mentioned, the sections have unique settings where if you assign a person here, they will automatically get assigned to every single space. So for example, I'm in this client space here, and from the section, if you click share here, you can see that the test has been assigned. I can always revoke this and add members individually to spaces if I want them to just see that space and not the section's entire space list. So with this, we're coming to an end of this walkthrough. Some small things that might be helpful is the settings to change from light to dark mode for you if you prefer it. There's a hand icon in there. You can always reach out to me for anything. There's chat with us, public roadmap, changelog, join our Slack. So we're fully available to help you set up an amazing workspace yourself. And we have a template library with 40 plus templates to help you get going. We have an inbox full of updates. I don't have anything because my test account, but that you can get a preview. Even before you leave your space, you can get a preview how that notification looks like. And then we built a homepage. Before we go to our home, let's favorite this, and then let's favorite a inside client project, a application. Let's assign this to myself, and then let's also favorite this application from here. You will see that in your home, you have a favorited application where you can directly access. So you can organize all your apps, notes, to-dos, files, and see them in your home. You'll be able to access your to-dos and complete them from here. You can access your spaces quickly, or you can always create new private notes to take and draft quick information. And that's liftOS. It's a very flexible, very organized way to work with your information. We've redesigned how productivity is, how you can work with your tools, and how you can organize everything with your people. You can use liftOS with up to hundreds of people. I'm looking forward to what each of you will create, and hope this walkthrough can give you some guidance and some information. And as mentioned, I'm always available by this hand to reach out. Looking forward to what you create.